right, and we had a catastrophic failure with that Coney. It shot terrible, and it actually jammed one of the rounds in the bird and had to get it unclogged. Just terrible. So these rifle tips are off the menu, but I'm gonna try to see if we can catch one of them, because I'm curious. Great day. Now that stop mag blue. You ain't gotta worry about, that's the thing about that stop mag. It's gonna shoot any pressure load. This M&P shield can shoot the hottest plus P plus. And that right there was a hot load that was damn loud. Although the recoil wasn't too bad, I could feel the actual little bit of trigger slap from that bad boy too. So she was hot, overpressured. It gave too much for that Coney and it damn near jammed in the bird. Never again. Them rifle tips off the menu unless I'm gonna carry them in a stock clip. All right, as you can see, hit there behind that deer shoulder right there. I'm comparing deers for this test. 2 months to be human being. It's not realistic. Hit the deer right there and see 35 cal, small pointed rifle hole right there. As you can see, look at that permanent tear. That bullet started to tumble all right, and you can see that from that tear. That rifle tip tumbled, no question about it. Hit the deer's shoulder bone right here after going through the first 7 inches of penetration. Blew out the back there through a shoulder bone, so blew his shoulder bone out. Struck the lung. As you can see, that's a high velocity round. It had some pretty good energy. It put a big old hole in there coming through his lung. Blew his lung out. Came up the back, elongated hole was much smaller, but that's elongated. That bad boy rifle tip, solid copper, was tumbling. Then hit the shoulder. Now this is the thing that protects the heart. Went through that second piece of shoulder blade, blew out the back with much more splendorness and explosiveness than that goddamn rifle tip. As you can see, hit right there with a good sized hole. Now you can see we caught that goddamn rifle tip in the bottom of it. We just barely caught it in that deer's far side. It put a hole, tried to exit out right there, but it bounced off. It rebounded. That's the good thing about bullets and water. They rebound. So that's the deer's heart. The bullet stopped in the back of that deer's heart and bounced off his shoulder. That is a dead goddamn deer. Now I'm finna show y'all the rifle tip. Now, of course, I'm gonna show y'all some hunting videos. They knock bears down with this stuff. It's some good 9mm ammo. It's just no good in the goddamn coon banger. And we drained that deer, we skinned him, and look at dar, that 35 caliber rifle tip. And as you can see, these rounds are solid copper and high velocity rounds. They have a chopped down boat tail booty design. This is pretty much just a chopped down 35 cal rifle bullet made the neck down to fit in a 9mm. You don't get no expansion, but this thing tumbles. Just a tumbling, just a tumbling, just a tumbling. And the kinetic energy from this thing, this would be like the Incredible Hulk throwing the kitchen table and hitting it down range. Now, of course, for a round like this, the water jugs don't do it justice, because this ain't like a hollow point that it was explode and bust open when hitting jugs like a human being. This right here, you got to actually flip a monkey with this. And like I said, this round right here, they say it's semi-safety spec, but it jammed that Coney and kicked the next round in the barrel. Almost catastrophic failure. Like I said, certain magazines that shell, let me show y'all here. Where's it at? Oh yeah, right here. As you can see, catastrophic. You can see the bullet sideways. It kicked in the goddamn bird. That's terrible. That Coney Booney almost cost me a goon. And I knew them rifle tips, you can't fire them through that. You need to stop magazines. So we gonna throw that down yonder. It ain't no good, but we got a solid rifle copper tip, and I'm gonna wrap it up and go in the house. This thing did some damage to that deer. Wrecked him. So no question about it, this will run clean through a monkey. There's no absolute way. I don't care how big he was. This would go clean through a monkey's body, hands down. It'll knock an engine block out of the car. This is a nasty, fast little booger with some hydrostatic shock. And this is about the tip of a 7.62 round. They're 30, this is 35. A 7.62 would just be slightly longer. But at 80 grains, this is quite a bit heavier than the 223 and quite a bit lighter than the 7.62. But these things are traveling at over 1,600 feet per second. It took a bunch of plywood, inches and inches. It took about, these are thicker half-inch pieces. So it took 3 half-inch pieces of plywood and 3 jugs to stop this. So even if this was a deer, it might have blown through. So, yep, good ammo.